We're discussing example number 2, finding the range of a function. The function y equals negative 3x plus 12 gives the amount y in fluid ounces of juice remaining in a bottle after you take x gulps. A. Identify the independent and dependent variables. So x represents the number of gulps. It is the independent variable. It's an independent variable because it's up to us how many gulps we want to have. And amount of juice is left in the bottle depends on how many gulps we had. Okay, so amount of juice that is left in the bottle depends how many gulps we have, and since it depends on how many gulps you have, it means that y is a dependent variable. So it's depend on how many gulps or x values we had. So the domain values or the x values or the input values are given 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to use these x values or domain values and we are going to find the range, means y value. So the function is given negative 3x plus 12, and we can put the y in front because this is equal to y. So we are going to plug in x values into the x place, or plugging the x value into x place, and find out the range or y value. So our first value, our very first value is 0. So we're going to use 0 as x value. So negative 3 times 0 plus 12. So that's going to be 0 plus 12, and output we're going to find as 12. My next value for y is 1, so x is 1. Then I'm going to plug it in x as 1. So what we have is negative 3 plus 12, and that's going to give me 9. And then we are going to plug it in 2. So that's going to be negative 6 plus 12, and the answer is 6. So we keep on plugging the value for x into x value here, and then we keep getting the y values or different y values for each input. So that's going to be 3 times 3 plus 12. That's negative 9 plus 12, and that is 3. Y equals negative 3 times 4 plus 12, and that's negative 12 plus 12, and is 0. So the range values are different values that are 12, 9, 6, 3, 0. And you can rewrite them as in a order from least to greatest, and that's 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. So we found the range or the y values plugging in different x values or different domain values. Now we are going to talk about what pattern do you notice in the input/output table. So what is the pattern that you noticed? I'm going to pause and you're going to tell me which, or compare with me, or think about it, what is the pattern, okay? So the pattern that we notice on x values, that the x values are increasing by 1. So it's plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 to get the next number. And the output, if we notice that, is going to be minus 3 to get the next number, minus 3, or it's, in other words, it's decreasing by 3. Example number 2, you try problem. The function y equals negative 4x plus 14 gives the number of y of avocados you'll have left after making x batches of guacamole. Identify the independent and dependent variables. The independent variable x is the batches of guacamole. The dependent variable is the amount of avocado left. So obviously when you make guacamole, batches of guacamole, whatever is left is no is going to depend on how many batches we made already. So the number of avocado left is dependent variable, and batches of guacamole that we make originally and we decide to make is independent variable. Now we have given is x value that are input values that we are going to plug it in x place and find the y value. So we are using the x value and plugging it in here to find the y value or range. So when you plug 0, so negative 4 times 0 plus 14 is 14. When you plug 1 here, you get negative 4 times 1 plus 14, that is 10. Plugging 2 for x values, you get negative 4 times 2 plus 14, and that's negative 8 plus 14. That's going to be 6. And you're going to put 3 for x values, and you're going to get output or range as 2. Output or range means that you're finding the y values, and input or domain means you're finding the x values. So the range is 2, 6, 10, and 14 after you put 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to keep in this order, then I would rather write in same order. Once when you plug it in 0, you get 14, and when you plug it in 1, 10, and then for 2 you got 6, and for plugging in 3 you got 2.